Live from the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet is proud to welcome you into coverage of the 2025 Tournament of Heroes. In our opening game of this weekend's action, the Assumption University Greyhounds take on the Griffins of Chestnut Hill College. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joe Foreman alongside Nicholas Bavona on the call, and this is the McDonald's pregame show. McDonald's, our great scoreboard sponsor here at the College of Staten Island, bringing you our pregame coverage each and every CSI Dolphins home game. And Nick, we are here to honor the memories of Terrence Aiken, Scott Davidson, and Tom Hannafin. For the first time ever, the Tournament of Heroes will feature 6 teams, at least the first time during my tenure here at the College of Staten Island, spanning 10 years. 3 games for us here on the first day of action. We're very much looking forward to it. Every year, men's basketball brings in some great teams. Tell us a bit more about these 2 teams before starting lineups are introduced.
Yeah, you look at these 2 teams, Joe, coming into tonight's contest. You first look at Chestnut Hill, 14-14 last year for the Griffins. They lost to Bridgeport in their respective conference championship tournament. The lifetime against this Assumption team, they are 1-3. They've lost the last 2 meetings versus Assumption. Their last win coming in 2018. And Assumption, Joe, is coming off a tremendous season last year. They made it all the way to the Elite 8 of the NCAA tournament. They actually defeated Stack, who we'll see in our second game of today's coverage, in the Sweet 16 to get to that Elite 8. And they've got a remarkable season last year as well, 22-10. So a lot of high hopes for Assumption, and they bring back a lot of those big players from last season's team as well.
Looking down the roster, it is contributions top to bottom for this Assumption University Greyhounds team. Last season, you mentioned the 22-10 mark and their success during the postseason. Plenty of returners as well for this Greyhound squad. Starting lineups about to be introduced. We'll talk a bit more about Chestnut Hill College when we come back ahead of our opening matchup in this 2025 Tournament of Heroes. Greyhounds and Griffins coming up next.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
Joe Foreman and Nicholas Bavona back with you from the tank here on the campus of the College of Staten Island ahead of our 2025 Tournament of Heroes opening matchup between the Chestnut Hill College Griffins and the Assumption University Greyhounds. Nick, as always, our pregame show is sponsored by McDonald's, and our starting lineups are about to be introduced. So let's meet these two teams at the starting five for both sides.
Hey, Joe, we'll start off first with Assumption. We'll talk about a little bit more of these players later on in the show about what they did last season. You have Beryl Malwo for Assumption, Tayshawn Cunningham, Pemberton. You have Z McCowan. You have Dauda Dembala as well in their starting lineup, as well as Lenny Tangashaka. And then we go to Chestnut Hill, their starting five. We'll get that in just one single solitary moment. Had to adjust my papers. For Chestnut Hill, you have Ivy Pettit, Kamal Lee, Amari Dow, Tyler Spencer, and Alejandro Redondo Sybak.
We are still awaiting a live stats link for this game. Right now, the link online is the link to CSI's game. So we're working on that and hoping to get the link for this game. We will not have stats in front of us immediately. However, we will have those updates coming throughout the game. And Nick, before the break, we mentioned that we wanted to shift our focus over to Chestnut Hill a bit. You talked a lot about what the Greyhounds did last season. What did the Griffins do last season, and what are some names to look out for on that side?
Well, as I mentioned earlier with Chestnut Hill, they're a team coming off a 500 record last season. So they were up and down throughout the year. They made it towards in their tournament bracket. They lost to Bridgeport, a team that we've seen in different various amount of sports. And as I mentioned, lifetime against Assumption, they are 1-3 in their matchups lifetime. Their last win coming in 2018. So trying to get a win here to start off this Tournament of Heroes. Ivy Pettit, one of the names to mention out for this Griffins team. 15.9 points per game last season, shooting 33.2% from the field. And he gets to the free throw line a very good amount as well, 80.2 from the free throw mark. And we talk about Sybak as well, 12.1 points per game, 7.9 rebounds per game, and shooting near 50%.
And we are set to go from the tank as the 2025 Tournament of Heroes is underway. The Greyhounds with it first to get us started from the College of Staten Island. Assumption working the ball around the perimeter. It's in the corner. Cunningham Pemberton on the drive, banks it in to open the scoring.
A nice move to the bucket right there by Cunningham Pemberton. Another guy that's returning for this Assumption team. And I looked at it, Joe, 13 players for this Assumption team returning to this lineup here today for this team that, as I mentioned earlier on, made it all the way to the Elite Eight in last year's NCAA tournament.
Now, is it fair to call him TCP for the rest of the weekend?
It could be.
Perhaps. We'll think about it. Kamal Lee with it, 5 on the shot clock. Extra pass to the corner, drive to the rim, and the layup will not go for Tyler Spencer. Greyhounds push it up the floor. Our scoreboard device is no longer functioning as that layup rolls off the rim for Cunningham Pemberton, but that is why the shot clock is not on your screen. The shot clock will be in the frame on every possession. I'll be sure to keep note of that throughout the game as well. Ball in the corner. Feed goes to the top of the arc. Pettit's three-pointer rolls off the rim. And a foul called underneath. Loose ball foul in the chase for that rebound. Lenny Tangashaka picks up the personal. First team foul on either side. Lee, the inbounder, sends it up top to Redondo Sybak. Bounce pass from Spencer into the corner. Dow sent it over to Lee. He's pressured well beyond the arc.
See it early.
Was all over him, and Assumption forces the turnover. That ball nearly got away, tracked down, and taken by the Griffins. Pettit to the rim, lays it in, and we're knotted up at 2.
Last couple of possessions, all defense is showing, but here's a wide open 3.
And that is a TCP 3. I think it worked right there, Nick.
It does work right there.
I think it worked.
It's almost like KCP over here in the NBA.
Very true. I think we have to go with TCP the rest of the weekend, Nick. I think that's
Might
fair.
be easier for us to announce it, too. That's true.
And then we have ARC on the other side, the big man in the middle. Ball in the hands of Dow, gets to the rim and puts it up and in.
Tough bucket right there by Dow. Had to fight through contact, and gets a nice floater in there to make it now 5-4 early on in this first half.
Long pass up the court to the corner, and that three-pointer is good by Baril Mawo. Griffins look to push, and there's a foul called inside. Dembella picks up the foul as Spencer attacked the rim. Get a look at this one from in tight as Spencer heads to the line.
You see right there a lot of contact as he went up to get that layup. Dembella called for the foul. At the free throw line is Spencer.
First free throw attempt is good. The Griffins last year shot nearly 73% from the line. Opponents just 66 against them. And Spencer goes 2 for 2.
It's an early timeout.
32nd timeout called by Chestnut Hill. The Greyhounds in front 8-6 early. Nick, you mentioned the harassing defense that we saw for a string of a few possessions there. Anything else that stands out to you?
I think, we're seeing early on pressure from both sides, and you saw on that one possession right there for Assumption, they were able to force a turnover. They got the ball down quickly, but credit to Chestnut Hill. They got some good defense, were able to force some passing for Assumption right there. Early on, what I'm seeing is both, high-paced action as well as seeing these two defenses really forcing a lot of ball movement early on this one.
All right, great job by Sam across the way. We have our live stats situation sorted out.
Very good.
And it was not an issue with the live stats being up. It was an issue with the link that was online.
Yes.
We needed the correct link. We now have it. You know me, Nick. I need my split box to call the game. All the information you could ever want and then some in that split box. Greyhounds possess it following the 32nd timeout by the Griffins. Three-pointer on its way and good. Z. McCowan from downtown.
And sometimes, Joe, you see that with that half-court press, that can lead to a shot like that. That was a great job overall by Assumption, find that wide-open man at the three-point arc, and they now get, I think, their third three-pointer already of this first half.
Downtown McCowan from three-point range.
See what you did there.
Nick would be proud of me.
I see what you did there.
You don't quite have the rhyme with that extra syllable,
No.
but close enough. I can't be the first one to have used that. Pressure on the inbound by Assumption as well. Spencer holding his pivot foot.
That should have been a kick ball, Joe.
No doubt about it. That was off the foot of McCowan. And to the rim goes TCP with the lay-in.
Yeah, that's one that Chestnut Hill's going to want back. That was a clear as day. We could see it right from here.
Yeah, no question. That was a kick ball. They missed it. Surprised there wasn't more of a protest from the Griffins bench.
Yeah.
Ball on the wing. Dangerous pass there. And the jumper's off back iron. No good by Redono Cyback.
Foul's called.
Foul called on the Griffins as well.
That was on Dow. Here's a look at that play, Joe, that we saw the kick ball. Yeah, you can see it right there.
No question about it. And the bench did protest. Maybe they're saving a more demonstrative protest for later. Once again, it is Greyhounds basketball. They now lead by 7. And the runner rolls off the rim, no good. Rebound tipped into the hands of Spencer.
You can see it, Joe. Greyhounds are forcing a lot of pressure as soon as they get to the half court. They're not making it easy for the Griffins to get it up the court.
They are defending the full length of the floor as that one rolls off the rim, but the tip-in is good by Alejandro Redono Cyback, and Nick, henceforth, we'll be calling him ARC.
I mean, ARC, if you want to call him that. What a tough bucket that was. And speaking of tough buckets, how about that one right there?
Dembella answering right back at the other end. And once again, Greyhounds in front by 7. ARC with it on the wing. Spencer in the corner with the pass fake, sends it back outside. Dow looking to drive, runner in the lane is short. Tie up on the rebound, it's taken away by Assumption.
They got numbers.
Racing up the floor was McCowan, and he finds an open man underneath for the and one. That is Noah Payne. Count the basket and the foul.
Going right into our media timeout. Great job by the Greyhounds here, Joe. I'll make the pun now before we get out of the way. They pretty much got out in front. They got on the Greyhound bus, getting all those numbers, 3-on-1. You see it right there. Get the and one, and they go into the media timeout up 17-8.
Well, I was about to say, Nick, if you were finished soon enough, as he ran down the floor, Noah with the basketball, I was about to say, here comes the pain as he lays it up and in. It's a 9-point lead for Assumption here at the Tank. We'll be back in 30 seconds. And we are back from the College of Staten Island, where the Assumption University Greyhounds lead the Griffins of Chestnut Hill College by a score of 17-8 in this Game 1 of our 2025 Tournament of Heroes. Joe Foreman on the call alongside Nicholas Pavona. And Nick, early in this game, we've seen a lot of suffocating defense from the Greyhounds. That's led to some points on the break. They got 2 on that last possession, and Noah Payne heads to the line for 1 more.
Well, you're kind of seeing early in this game, Joe, why this team made it all the way that they did in the NCAA tournament last year. They're forcing the suffocating defense. They're getting quick transition buckets as well. And an early 9-point lead, it's really tough the way this team's played so far.
Big difference in terms of early shooting as well. 7 of 9 from the field for Assumption, just 3 of 8 for Chestnut Hill. Payne's free throw will go down, and it's a double-digit lead for the Greyhounds.
Got a nice friendly bounce on that free throw right there.
I've taken a few shots on these rims over the course of 10 years working in athletics, never as a player, but I've taken some shots. These rims here at CSI are rather friendly, I will say. It's now Griffins basketball as they work it around the outside. Good shot fake there, sets up a kick out. 3-pointer on its way, no good by Spencer, and the rebound is tipped out to Alcindor. Alcindor racing up the floor, had it poked away. And the Greyhounds will reset. Payne looks to attack, spin move inside, and he draws the foul.
That was a nice play right there by Payne. Able to draw that foul, but you saw it. He makes the move to the bucket, looking for that extra pass underneath the rim. And he's going to go to the free throw line.
Second trip to the line in this game for the Greyhounds. Also, the second trip for Payne as he misses the first.
I believe that was also the second foul on Kamal Lee, so he has to check out early in this game.
That free throw is good. 1 for 2 trip to the line for Payne. And Nick, you mentioned the early foul trouble. A lot of the time early in the season, first couple of games, you do see some players get into a bit of early foul trouble. Something to keep an eye on throughout the weekend. It's an 11-point lead now for Assumption. Gorham gives it up to Pettit. Defended by Payne and was met there by Mawo. It's tipped away and stolen. Payne to the basket. He lays it up and in.
It's just suffocating what they're doing right now, Joe. You saw it on Pettit. He had no room to pass, and then when he got it over to Cyback, he had nowhere to go either.
That turnover, the third for the Griffins. And to the rim went Landon Shivers. His shot no good, but it comes back to the outside. 3-pointer short by Pettit. Tipped out of bounds by Chestnut Hill.
And you're going to look right here at that last sequence leading to the big bucket on the other side for Assumption.
It's been a strong start defensively for the Greyhounds. And it's an illegal screen off the ball. Offensive foul, I believe, was charged to 0. Barwell Mawo.
Ooh, he said the thing you don't like to say, Joe. He said number 0.
Yeah, you know, if you've never listened to us here on Sportsnet before, one of the big things that I've harped on for years is that you cannot say number 0. It is 0, not number 0. but that's a matter of preference. I have to admit, Nick, I'm a bit biased, and I consider myself right in the matter, but when the PA announcer says number 0,
you cringe a little.
I cringe just a bit. And if I seem a bit distracted for a minute or two now, you know why. Inbound from the baseline for the Griffins.
Griffins got to find a way to get a bucket right here, Joe. They've been held scoreless for the last couple of minutes.
Strong move inside, and somehow Pettit was able to throw that one in.
I'm not sure how he did.
Not a clue, Nick. That is
not a clue.
A circus shot and a strong finish against a couple of big defenders. Good job there to strip that ball away by Spencer. 15 on the shot clock. Payne to the rim. Gets the lay-in to go.
Payne early on this game has been all over the glass in terms of inside the paint scoring.
Greyhounds by 13. 12:45 to go in half number 1. ARC with it, kicks out. Shivers again, defended closely. O'Leary all over him. Finally is able to give it up. Gorham, floater, no good.
I think that's what's most impressive right now is that it's this man-to-man coverage that's been working right now for the Greyhounds in this game.
Shot fake in the corner. Mawo to the basket, can't finish, but he draws the foul. And I think when you end up in a situation now, Nick, where the Greyhounds are able to get to the line as well, it really puts the Griffins in a tough spot. You can see it, the energy that Chestnut Hill has expended on offense bleeds over a bit onto the defensive side. And, Nick, with the referee between me and the basket, I didn't realize Mawo tried to dunk that ball.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, let's just say he was trying to put him on a poster with that one.
Yeah. If there's one thing I could change about our perspective, it's that we were about 5 feet higher. Because we're seated at center court on the near sideline, and anybody who runs by or anyone standing between us and the basket very easily can obstruct our view. Meanwhile, Mawo goes 0 for 2 from the line, and Gorham was eventually able to reel in the board.
Chestnut Hill would love to get a bucket here, Joe, before the next media timeout. They can get some kind of momentum going into that next media. That could help them get back in this game early.
Griffins just 4 of 13 from the field. They've attempted more shots, but haven't had the stroke early in this one, and things have been made really tough around the basket. But not for Pettit, as he banks it in traffic.
That's another one.
And he's down.
Yeah, that was a tough bucket for him on that one to get it, and he got it, but you saw it. He was a little bit gingerly getting back up the court.
The Greyhounds had numbers and did not get a shot off. Pettit now back on defense. And another offensive foul is called against Mawo, trying to establish position inside.
You see Pettit right here getting another tough bucket. Did go down after, but as you mentioned, a good job by Chestnut Hill. They were able to play down a man and not give up any points, and then drawing that offensive foul as we have another media timeout.
And with that media timeout, we head to another 30-second commercial break. Our score, the Greyhounds 23 and the Griffins 12, 11:28 to go in the first half. And we are back here on CSI Sportsnet, of course, streaming exclusively on Flow College. It's the Greyhounds over the Griffins 23-12. And, Nick, we understand that fans of every team typically don't have to pay to watch, so those who are watching for Chestnut Hill out of the CACC. We thank you for tuning in. They are not yet on Flow, so any fans of Chestnut Hill tuning in, they paid to be here, and we thank you for watching. Of course, our fans from the NE10, you're very welcome as well, as the Greyhounds have another steal. But good job by the Griffins to get back, making that a tough shot, and off the block, the Greyhounds do score. Dembella puts it up and in.
And again, it's an immediate turnover that they force, and I think that's something that has been the difference in this game right now. It's turnovers leading to quick transition buckets for this Greyhound squad.
Turnovers beginning to pile up for the Griffins now, and I think that's definitely a major concern here in this first half. And I've never played organized basketball, Nick. Of course, I've never coached, but watching the game, I've always felt that if you don't turn the ball over, you're always going to be in a good position. No transition baskets off of turnovers, points off of turnovers so often decide games. And I think when you take care of the basketball, you really put yourself in a good position to begin with. That being said, against a suffocating defense and a full court press, it's tough to take care of the ball, especially in your first intercollegiate game action where the result goes in the win or loss column.
I mean, you're seeing it right here on this side of the court. They can't even inbound the ball right now. That's how suffocating the defense has been so far.
And taking a look out on the floor, it doesn't seem like there's an excess of length out there for the Greyhounds. Really no towering presence in front of the inbounder, really making that pass difficult. It's just been the effort and the body positioning on each player trying to receive that inbounds pass. Meanwhile, the Griffins with another miss. Back on defense, trailing by 13, and that's far too easy. Dembella throws it down with two hands, and Greyhounds lead it 27-12.
Yeah, you don't want to leave him wide open inside the paint. That was just a loss in transition right there, play, and benefited the Greyhounds.
Griffins again facing pressure, cough it up. And to the rim goes Dembella. He throws it down a second time. He is fired up, and the Griffins call timeout with Assumption in front, 29-12.
And we'll see one of those two dunks right here. First, he gets that nice pass after they try to switch and get the double team out. And then we'll see in just a few short seconds, Joe, another turnover leading to quick points for the Greyhounds, and they get another 2 points to go up by 17. And as you mentioned, another timeout called by the Griffins.
And not only has the defense been suffocating, Nick, but again, this is in part due to the baskets in transition. Assumption is shooting 12 of 14, and on top of that, 3 of 3 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, I think that's what is really tough because you're facing a defense that's been really good so far in this game. But not only that, they're not giving you many good shot selections right now. You've been seeing it a couple times so far. They haven't really been able to shoot outside, that being Chestnut Hill. Most of their shots have been inside of the paint, and those shots haven't been the easiest even when they've fallen down.
And you could make the case, Nick, that the Griffins have converted on 2 of their toughest shot attempts of the game.
Yeah.
Pettit took the ball inside. And if that's what it's going to take to score, it could be a long road back, but still plenty of time. We just have reached the midway point of the first half. That's a tough break for the Griffins. They turn it over again.
Yeah, another turnover force. Tipping and they've been doing that a lot. They've been tipping the passes and either forcing the turnover with, catching it or forcing it out of bounds just like there.
Greyhounds with it right back off the forced turnover. Tangashaka can't connect from the top of the arc, and here come the Griffins. Dow, double team, gets it away. Cross-court pass into the corner, sets up a 3, and that is well short by Gorham. Long outlet. Payne lays it in.
And look how quick that was, Joe. As soon as they got the rebound, Payne was already up half court. We usually see that when we're playing NBA 2K, and that's just really tough to defend if you're the Griffins right there.
Payne has been really good attacking the basket downhill. Didn't even lose a step off what was a great outlet pass, but that's a long pass. And a foul is called against Chestnut Hill with that ball loose on the floor.
And it's, again, coming down to this, too, Joe. I think we saw earlier on they were playing a lot more man coverage. They've now shifted, that being the Greyhounds, into a 3-2 defense. So they're doing it in more ways than one right now on the defensive side of the ball. They're forcing turnovers by switching to either man coverage or switching to that 3-2.
I hear man coverage. I think you and I are back calling a game.
I know.
At one of our many football clients. You and I, of course, do work elsewhere as well, but No place we'd rather be this weekend here at the College of Staten Island. You and I both getting our start here at CSI. Greyhounds work it around the outside.
We were saying to get quick possessions these last couple times out. Now they're trying to get something going here.
That pass tipped.
They turn it over.
We will head the other way. It was certainly tipped, but was it last touched by Chestnut Hill? What do you think, Nick? Oh, Griffins turn it over immediately following the inbound. That sets up an open three, no good. Rebound goes to Shivers.
Yeah, looking back at it really quick, I didn't see it touch a Griffin player, so I think that was the right call.
Well, it did touch a Griffin player, but did it touch them last? They tipped the pass.
They did, but I think it tipped off.
And then it hit another Greyhound.
Yes.
Okay. Shivers back to the basket, kicks out. Shot fake by Lee. He finds an open down, no good from three. Rebound pulled in by Dembella.
And I think that's something else, too. The Griffins have had their looks these last couple of minutes, Joe, but as you mentioned earlier, the shots aren't falling for them right now.
Double team, TCP is rejected. And a whistle came in for a foul call.
Yeah, very late foul call.
Yeah, I did not expect that. But what we do expect inside of 8 minutes is a media timeout. We head to break. Our score, Assumption 31, Chestnut Hill 12. Joe Foreman and Nicholas Pavona back with you from the College of Staten Island, where Assumption University leads Chestnut Hill by 19. 7:55 to go in the first half, and it's been about as good of a start as you could ask for the Greyhounds in this game, Nick. Defensively, they've forced 8 turnovers. They're shooting over 72% from the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost been a picture-perfect start for this game.
There's a good defensive possession for the Griffins, and it ends with a putback by TCP.
That one barely just hitting the rim, and a good job once again of positioning right there for the Greyhounds. They get the 2 points on that offensive rebound.
And the full court pressure results in a foul call. Travis Reed Jr. drew the foul, cross half court. 16th foul on the Greyhounds. The Griffins with 5 team fouls.
16th foul on the Greyhounds.
One more away for Assumption, and that would put the Greyhounds in the bonus.
Chestnut Hill has been held scoreless for the last 4:18. And they are without a three-pointer as well, 0 for 6 from downtown. Strong move to the rim there, and able to lay it up and in was Dow.
We've mentioned it a couple times. It has not been easy getting points inside the paint, but credit to the Griffins. They've been getting a couple of those inside the paint tonight.
That's where they've had the most success, and I think the issue, Nick, has been getting the ball to that area of the floor. And Mawo answers right back with a 3 at the other end.
How about Mawo on that play? He initially thought maybe he was going to drive, took the step back 3. It just continues to pour on this lead for the Greyhounds.
And they left, man, without an option there. Lee had nowhere to go with the ball. He was forced into a turnover, and it was tipped out of bounds by the Griffins. And
get another turnover forced.
that's number 9.
And it's what we talked about, the half-court pressure. They've now gone pretty much full court, and there's just nowhere for the Griffins to inbound the ball or pass it towards up the court.
Really tough to face a team that plays defense this way in your first game of the season. As once again, Payne goes to the rim and is able to finish.
All of his points coming inside the paint, too, as well. He's been incredible so far to start this game.
The lead is now 24, as that basket will not count. Dow draws the foul. That is team foul number 7 on the Greyhounds, so he'll go to the line for a 1-and-1.
And you're starting to get to that point, Joe, where if you're the Griffins, there's got to be a certain number you need to get it to before halftime. You're down early in this game. Now you're down by 23. You need to get it to a certain number to at least give yourself some kind of, momentum going into the second half.
And you have to think that the Griffins discussed this pressure they were going to see from the Greyhounds in this game. And I think at halftime, the conversation, at least in part, has to be how you're going to adjust and consistently get the ball across the timeline without a turnover.
And that's a great point. I think the concession's got to be, we got to figure out ways to get the ball up the court, because they have had a couple possessions where they haven't even gotten past half court right now because of how good the full court pressure has been.
And when it takes you some time to get across half court and you're scrambling to get set offensively, it does impact the quality of the shots you get as well. Of course, less time doesn't help either. And if time is expended getting the ball across half court, that's less time you could spend getting to work offensively. Greyhounds waste no time there as the three-pointer is no good. There's Tangashaka from the top of the arc, and here comes Dow to the basket. He lost his footing. Loose ball on the floor, last touched by Chestnut Hill.
That's a tough break because it looked like they had a chance to get some points on that play, and Dow just unfortunately slipped, and the ball went off of ARC's hands.
Under 6 minutes to go in the half. The lead for Assumption is 22 points. Kick out to the wing. Morrow back up top for Payne. 12 on the shot clock. Payne into the corner. Tangashaka had it poked away. Lee almost came up with the steal, but Payne collects it and can't finish. And now the Griffins have it. Long outlet pass up the floor, and a two-handed slam. Malcolm Day throws it down. Count the basket and the foul.
And, Joe, you're hoping that if you are Chestnut Hill, that maybe sparks some type of rally right there. A nice job right off of the inbound pass, or off of that rebound, to get a quick transition dunk. And as you mentioned as well, they get the and one.
That's the kind of play that could energize your team and swing a game a bit. It was a good defensive possession once again for the Griffins. It almost ended in a basket anyway. But they altered the shot at the rim, got out in transition, and the three-point play is completed by Malcolm Day. It's now a 19-point game. Payne uses the screen and pulls up for three, no good. Long rebound into the corner was pulled in by ARC. Ball nearly poked away from Lee there. He collects it. More pressure. And possession will stay with Chestnut Hill.
I'm looking at it now. If they can get it to within 12, Joe, at halftime, that's got to be at least encouraging if you're a Griffins fan. If you can get it to within 12 before the half, that would be good for them. But that won't help.
Day steps on the sideline. And, Nick, I think if they could hold it within 15 and just figure out how they're going to navigate this press in the second half, that could change the game, because when they've been forced to defend in the half court, the Griffins have not played poorly on defense. They've forced some tough shots. And that will be Chestnut Hill basketball as the Griffins force another turnover.
That would look like it maybe just hit off the leg of Payne on that one. So a little bit of a mental mistake leads to another turnover, and let's see if the Griffins now can capitalize on it.
The effort is there defensively, and the results now starting to show for Chestnut Hill. Day nearly had it poked away. He kicks out. Shot fake and a three-pointer results in a foul call. Pettit contacted down low, was not given room to land, and he will head to the line for 3 shots.
Well, I mentioned it earlier. Pettit was one of the top free throw shooters on this team. I believe led the team in free throws attempted. So if he has an opportunity to get to the line, he's going to do it, and he made sure to get to the line on that one. 3 shots upcoming here with 4:23 to go in the half.
First free throw rattles in, and that makes it an 18-point game. But you mentioned, Nick, your target mark would be about a 12-point deficit at the half, and the way things have begun to shift a bit, it's seeming more and more realistic.
Got to have some type of, you have to have some of it going into the half. If you can keep it to within a certain margin where you feel very comfortable that you can maybe make that second half comeback, then that's going to help. If they can get to a 12, that you have to feel confident if you're the Griffins.
3 for 3 from the stripe for Ivy Pettit, and it's now a 16-point game.
And now the other side of things, of your assumption, you got to find the offense that you had earlier on this half. They've been held scoreless the last couple of minutes.
It's been over 2 minutes without a point for the Greyhounds, and that one poked away by Day. He couldn't corral it. TCP to the rim, rattles it in. And that's a big basket for the Greyhounds, as the last few possessions have been really tough for them offensively.
And that almost was another turnover that they had right there. But a great job by TCP to keep the ball and then go up with a tough layup.
A lot of pressure once again. It's poked away. Burns coughed it up. TCP to the rim, lays it in, and the lead is right back to 20.
And that's something I've been seeing too a lot, Joe, is that when they get that man-to-man coverage, they've been able to poke the ball out.
Day short on the 3. ARC with the rebound. They'll try again from the corner. This time Reed Jr. off the mark.
Those three-point shots just have not been falling for the Griffins.
And there's an emphatic rejection by Day. And it will be Griffins basketball. How about that swat?
That certainly will help you go into the media timeout.
We'll get one more look at that last rejection. And Nick, you mentioned the three-point shooting for Chestnut Hill now. Have them at 0 for 8. I had to give the live stats a bit of a refresh. The Wi-Fi not cooperating, but it is indeed 0 for 8. And defensive plays like that make up for it just a bit. We head to a media timeout with 3:09 to play in the first half. Our score, Assumption 42 and Chestnut Hill 22. And we are back from the College of Staten Island with 3:09 to go in the first half. This is the first game of our 2025 Men's Basketball Tournament of Heroes. Assumption over Chestnut Hill by 20. And Nick, the Griffins could really use a late surge here in this first half.
And keep in mind, too, they get one more foul draw, and Chestnut Hill would be in the double bonus, but turnover right there.
That's number 12. McCowan, pull-up jumper is good.
This game has been all about tough buckets the entire first half.
These D2 players are pretty good, Nick. We know they're good, but they're looking really good so far in this game. A lot of tough shots. Pressured on the perimeter with Spencer. He gives it up. Bounce pass inside, and Reed Jr. couldn't finish in traffic as the Griffins commit team foul number 6.
Now for Assumption, they're one more foul from getting into their own bonus. So 2:15 left. If you're Chestnut Hill, got to try to avoid giving up another foul before this first half ends.
Cowan goes to work once again, and that's too easy.
Yeah, pretty much a walk-in bucket right there.
Well, that's not a possession you're happy with defensively if you're the Griffins, and they've done a lot of good things defensively over the last several minutes. That possession, not among them.
But now an 8-0 run for Assumption, Joe, since Chestnut Hill made it a 16-point game.
Quick pass inside. Back into the corner, and Pettit knocks down another tough shot. It's a two-pointer.
It's a good thing I looked up, Joe. I almost put 3 on the board.
Well, Nick, to your credit, you are operating the scoreboard, the clock, and providing top-tier color commentary. So
Do the best I can.
kudos to you. Our scoreboard worked last week when I tested. It was hanging by a thread, I thought, as that's going to be a turnover. And it is scooped up by the Griffins. Spencer.
No shot.
Thought maybe they called a jump ball, but I think instead it was a foul.
Yeah, it's a foul.
Yeah, it's a blocking foul picked up by Miles Alcindor. But our scoreboard worked last week. We tested it. Everything was good. We came in today, and it appears it has reached the end of its life. So that will need to be replaced in the coming weeks, and hopefully we can make that happen. Meanwhile, it's a timeout on the floor called by Assumption. It is a 30-second timeout, which means a 15-second break for us. We'll be right back. 1:06 to go in the first half. Tyler Spencer to the line for Chestnut Hill. He goes to the line for 2 shots with his team trailing by 22. First free throw up and good. One more here for Spencer. And he goes 2 for 2 from the stripe. Spencer now with 6, Dow with 6. Pettit leads all Chestnut Hill scorers with 11. This is Alcindor with it. Looking to work inside. Good spin move, draws the foul. Cunningham Pemberton leads the way for Assumption with 13. Bele with 8, McCown with 7, Mawo with 6, and Payne with 12 as well. Almost lost him there at the bottom of the box score. First free throw good for Alcindor.
Gotta feel good to have the last name Alcindor when you're playing basketball.
Not bad.
Gotta feel good about that.
Had to think about it for a minute. But
Oh, of course he did change his name.
he did. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What was his first name?
Lou.
Lou.
Always like, looking up at basketball fast
Now,
like that.
is it the same spelling?
No, I think it's L-E-W, I think.
Okay.
I had to look that up. I think it's that way.
Corner 3 on the way off the top of the backboard, but rebounded by Pettit. ARC tied up there, and he draws the foul.
He'll go to the free throw line for 2 free throws.
Fouls on Assumption, number 25, Connor O'Leary. Greyhound.
O'Leary picks up the personal.
Free throws upcoming on the side.
First free throw good. It's back to a 21-point game. Well, I think if they had it their way, you'd obviously prefer a deficit less than 20 by halftime, Nick. But the way that things were shaping up at around the 6 to 8 minute mark remaining in this half, it looked like it could have been a halftime deficit much greater than 20 points. So I think it's game one of the year. You don't want to put too much stock into it, but if you're the Griffins, you regroup at halftime, and if you can solve the turnover issues, this game changes.
And I look at it back like this. We had that point in time when it was 38-22. So at one point, the Griffins were making this somewhat interesting. They could have made it maybe that 12-point deficit that I mentioned earlier on, but for the last couple of possessions have been really good for this Greyhounds team, and their defense has gotten back to what it was doing earlier on this half.
It's tough to overcome 13 first-half turnovers, but when you combine that with 33% shooting, it becomes even tougher. Three-pointer on the way. It rattles in at the buzzer. Z McCowan from downtown sends us to halftime with Assumption leading Chestnut Hill 51-28. Nick, let's get one more look.
Yeah, Joe, you have to look at this ball movement by Assumption. Great first pass, second pass to find the wide open man. And as you mentioned, it rattles in to end this first half. A great first half if you are a Greyhounds fan as they go into halftime up big in this one early on.
Downtown Z McCowan at the buzzer puts Assumption in front by 23. Our score at the break, the Greyhounds 51 and the Griffins 28. We take a break for approximately 15 minutes, and when we come back, Nick and I have the call of half number 2 in this first game of our 2025 Tournament of Heroes.
Cobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Cobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
The NCAA sponsors 90 national championships each year, none of which could happen without officials. There's an urgent need for sports officials across the country, as they are retiring 4 times faster than they are coming in, leaving shortages at all levels of sport. The NCAA recognizes the importance of officiating on the student-athlete experience and is dedicated to the recruitment and retention of new officials for all sports. There are many great reasons to become an official. Stay in shape and get paid to do so. Meet new people and build relationships within a tight-knit community. Give back to the sport you love by creating a fair atmosphere and upholding the integrity of the game. Say yes to officiating. Visit ncaa.org/say yes to officiating for more information on how to get started.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast. Everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us. And I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about. Uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
That's a timeout on betting. It completely changed the game, and you didn't even notice. Let me break it down for you. Betting ads are applying full court pressure and getting you to play the game. Many of you are falling for it and losing big money. Addiction is happening in some more than others. Now players are getting harassed by bettors. And we all know that's not how the game is won. So it's on us to be good teammates and draw the line to stay ahead of betting consequences.
We've learned a lot from him, and we've probably learned more from him than he's learned from us.
I think they're a real important part in my life. I can't describe it. It feels amazing.
Team Impact is a national nonprofit that connects kids living with serious and chronic illness with college athletic teams, forming lifelong bonds and life-changing outcomes.
Give me a break it! Break it! Can I have a hug? Oh.
What's your favorite subject?
Math.
When you spread the word about Team Impact, you have the power to change lives.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
Team Impact, we pair kids who have been sidelined by serious illness and disability with college teams from across the country.
What's up, big man? You good?
It's more than a single-day meet and greet or photo opportunity. Our program places kids on a multi-year journey, becoming true members of a collegiate athletics team.
We are
Penn State. From signing day to game day.
I can't describe it. It feels amazing.
Team Impact. All in, all together.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
That's a timeout on betting. It completely changed the game, and you didn't even notice. Let me break it down for you. Betting ads are applying full court pressure and getting you to play the game. Many of you are falling for it and losing big money. Addiction is happening in some more than others. Now players are getting harassed by bettors. And we all know that's not how the game is won. So it's on us to be good teammates and draw the line to stay ahead of betting consequences.
Joe Foreman and Nicholas Pavona back with you from the tank, as we do have a third headset on the table, awaiting the final member of our crew, Nick Durst, who joins us for our final game of the evening. I accidentally picked up Nick's headset. We now have the correct headset as we begin the second half from the College of Staten Island. It's a big lead for the Greyhounds, Nick. We talked about it before the half. The Griffins need to clean up the turnovers, but they also have to shoot more efficiently from the field, just 33%. Anything else I missed on how Chestnut Hill can get back into this game?
And as you said, that they almost had another turnover, but I think that's really what it is. They have to find a way to limit their turnovers, but they need some shots to fall as well. They've been playing some good defense and a lot of Assumption shots in this game, but there's been a couple of possessions where they've allowed Assumption to get down the court pretty quickly in transition and have allowed some quick points. So they've got to find a way to quickly transition back into the defensive front after a missed shot.
Ball with the Greyhounds here, top of the arc. Handoff there. Bounce pass to the right wing. Quick jab step and a move inside. Dembele, count the basket and one. Things not getting any easier for the Griffins here. Strong move by Dembele to get inside and finish in traffic. And you said it, Nick, all game long. Tough shots.
Well, Joe, do you want to retract your statement from before?
Which one?
The ball didn't go in.
Oh. You didn't cut me off sooner, Nick?
You were going with it. I was going to wait to see if maybe you realized it wasn't.
Wow.
Did it go
We have a lot of screens here, Nick, that I'm attending to. Meanwhile, the free throw is no good.
I guess they wish at this point they went in.
Well, you always wish it goes in.
Immediate foul right afterwards.
See, Nick, we need that perch I was talking about.
That's true. In fairness, you had me second guessing for a second because I looked
can
towards
be very
the
persuasive.
I looked towards the basket. I said, I don't remember that ball going in.
I thought, Nick, the reason I thought it went in, as that feed inside to Spencer results in a Greyhounds foul. Nick, the reason I thought it went in wasn't because I saw the ball go in. It was because I saw the official do the fist down to the floor, and I thought he was signaling count the basket. Normally the fist is an offensive foul, but the Greyhounds had free throws. I'm thankful you didn't replay it and show me how not close it was.
Like I said, I was trying to figure out if it did go in or not when you first said it. I was like, wait a minute. Something doesn't feel right.
First free throw by Spencer is good. One more from the line for Spencer. He's already 5 for 5 from the stripe. Make it 6 for 6. Greyhounds lead now 21. Cowan bounce pass inside, and you can count that basket, Nick, and one on the dunk by Mawo.
And they almost had a sequence right there, Joe, where it could have been a double dribble, but the ball got tipped on that pass before the pass got there, I should say. And it's a great look, a nice cut to the basket as well for that and one.
Once again, Nick, the Griffins making things difficult, harassing the ball handler, getting in the passing lanes, and creating some contact, but not enough to keep the ball out. Mawo off on that free throw as well. Dow racing downhill, lost it on the way up. And it will stay Griffins basketball.
I feel like that's the only thing that Assumption hasn't really been, hasn't really done well so far in this game. It's been the free throw shooting, I feel like. I feel like that's the only thing that if you had to nitpick at something for them in this one, it's been that.
Well, you meant Assumption, not Chestnut Hill.
Assumption, yes.
Now you're on the blooper reel.
Yes.
Not quite as big a blunder as mine. Dow again toward the rim, and this time draws a foul.
Already at 5 fouls between both sides just a few minutes in.
Fouls on Assumption, number 0.
We have another number 0, Nick, but Mawo picks up the foul. Free throw off back iron, no good by Dow.
Third team foul consumption. One more free throw upcoming for Michael Pittman. Check that for Amari down. One more free throw for Amari down.
Second free throw on its way, and that one rolls off the rim, no good. Tie up on the rebound, and that will buy the Griffins another possession. Good job there by Spencer.
Both teams struggling to start this second half in terms of free throw shooting, but nice play by Spencer awards them another possession right here.
The inbound will come from the baseline as they attend to a wet spot on the floor. Inbound goes to the corner. Once again, the ball in the hands of Dow. He's been busy early in the second half. Dow, bounce pass, and may have lost the ball as well. Instead, it hit off of Spencer, and there's another Griffins turnover.
Yeah, they got a second possession after forcing that play off the missed free throw, but not able to get any points in the entirety of those two chances.
There's a good defensive play by Lee, and Lee will go all the way.
Lee, basket by Kamal Lee.
Another tough bucket, this time by Lee. He forces the turnover, and quickly gets the 2 points right afterwards.
And nearly a strong answer back by Tangashaka. Couldn't corral the rebound either. And it will be Griffins basketball. Here's one more look at that steal and the finish by Lee. Lee will bring it up here. And Nick, if you've seen early in the second half with the 20-point lead, the Greyhounds have largely relented on the full court pressure.
How about that?
How about that for an alley-oop finish? Not quite a dunk, but ARC with the feed inside to Spencer. It's now a 19-point game.
You don't necessarily see your center most of the time delivering alley-oop passes like that. Only one I can think of is maybe Nikola Jokic. That's about it.
Jumper on the way, rattles in. That's good from beyond the arc. Dauda Dembele from downtown, and it's quickly back up to 22.
That's a certain way to respond after giving up that alley-oop.
ARC left open in the corner, no good. And the rebound goes out of bounds. Greyhounds basketball.
Here's one more look at that nice alley-oop pass.
Number 11, Gibbons. Number 12, Alcindor.
We've talked a lot about the defense and the good shooting, Nick, but there's been some good ball movement in this game as well.
And number 25,
that time it's the Griffins with display of ball movement on the alley-oop, but we've said it more than once already. The Greyhounds have moved it around nicely as well.
I kind of think that was going to be the expectation coming into this game tonight.
Three-pointer short by TCP. Here comes Pettit. Big crossover into a three-pointer. Ivy Pettit knocks down the shot from beyond the arc.
Beautiful possession right there by Pettit. Nice ball movement and nice dribbling to award himself a little bit of space to get that three-pointer.
And that breaks up the 0 for the Griffins from downtown. They were 0 for 10 from three-point range before that make. Now 1 for 11. Pettit 1 for 3. He's 5 of 8 with 14 points. Another three on the way off back rim, no good. Rebound pulled in by Lee.
Griffins trying to get some kind of a run, Joe, before this next media timeout.
ARC was doubled inside, and he draws the blocking foul. Nick, that will indeed send us to our media timeout. 15:58 to go here in the second half. The Assumption lead is 19. They're over Chestnut Hill, 56-37. And we are back from the tank where the lead for the Greyhounds is 19 points over the Griffins of Chestnut Hill College. At the line, Alejandro Redondo Cyback Sr. And Nick, there's a reason we've been saying ARC for much of this game.
Did you add the senior at this end?
Oh. You know, Nick, the way it's written.
I know.
It does look that way,
I
right? You know, it's funny because when we were doing the starting lineups, I was going through it. I heard you say it. He is indeed a senior.
He is a
but
senior.
His name is so long that it's up against the SR and senior. And not realizing that was his class designation, I just went with it. And we've had some good ones so far in this game. I'm clearly in early season form, as that's a foul on Spencer.
Get the pregame jitters out of the way, you know. For
There's no
majority.
jitters. I'm just all over the place, clearly.
Number 24, Tyler Spencer. That's his second.
For Spencer, that's his second foul. That will send Noah Payne to the line.
How many times have we seen him go on inside the paint tonight, get a couple of buckets, and now gets himself 2 free throws?
And speaking of free throws, Nick, you made this point already. The only reason right now that the Griffins are within striking distance is the disparity in free throws. 4 of 10 for the Greyhounds and now 15 of 18 for Chestnut Hill. It's hard to believe it's still a 19-point game despite that. Payne goes 2 for 2 from the line. He's now 3 of 4 from the stripe. Bounce pass inside, mishandled. And that's another Griffins turnover. That's number 15.
And that looked good. That was probably the best that they played against that press coverage for the majority of this game. But unfortunately, not able to hand in the ball underneath, leading to another turnover.
TCP on the drive, draws a foul. And if you're the Griffins, you can't allow the Greyhounds to get into an early bonus situation, can't afford to give up points at the line, despite the fact that they haven't shot it well from there.
As I mentioned earlier on, a lot of fouls early in this first half, or second half, excuse me. Now 8 combined between the two teams, 4 on each side.
First free throw short. In the first half, the Griffins were a perfect 12 for 12 from the line.
Number 12, Malcolm Denton, along with number 21, Landon Shivers.
Chestnut Hill about to take someone off the court.
And that one's in and out. Griffins basketball. Our live stats still playing tricks on me. The Wi-Fi is just abysmal, unfortunately. Thankfully, our broadcast is wired. They did upgrade the Wi-Fi here, and live stats still aren't cooperating. It could be because they're on the other side of the gym. They're a bit further, but it's now 2 of 7 from the line for Assumption here in the second half as that three-pointer is short. Here come the Greyhounds. On the drive, that was Payne. He lost it. Turnover number 8 for Assumption.
Griffins, meanwhile, still struggling to get that three-point shot going. Another miss on that last possession.
For the game now, they're 1 of 12 from downtown. Lee fed it inside to Shivers, but that was called.
Fouls on Assumption, number 25, Connor O'Leary. For O'Leary, that is his second personal.
O'Leary picks up the personal, his second.
Non-shooting foul.
4th team foul on Assumption. This is Day with it into the corner. Baker back up top for Lee. Lee for Shivers. Open jumper is good.
Nice look by Lee to find Shivers on that outside baseline to get that long range too.
Payne kick out. That was a dangerous pass. And the Griffins force another Greyhounds turnover. but they take it right back.
Yeah, that was just an ill-advised pass right there, Joe. They could have held it, that being Lee, and they could have tried to draw something up there.
Tangashaka did well not to give up on that play as a foul is called inside. Team foul number 5 on the Griffins, and this should be free throws. Heading to the line will be Dowda Dembele.
Chestnut Hill, number 21, Landon Shivers. His second. 2 free throws upcoming for Denver.
All right, I thought I was going crazy for a second, Joe.
Why is that?
Because on the scoreboard, it had Assumption with 6 fouls, Chestnut Hill with 4.
Yeah, it gave 1 foul to the other side mistakenly.
They had it 6-4 in Assumption. They gave the foul to
Yeah,
Assumption.
it should have been 5-5.
Yeah, it should have been 5-5. I had it on here, and I was looking. I said, did I do it wrong? Did I do something wrong?
That free throw rattles out. And very quickly, a foul is committed, so both of these teams are headed for an early bonus.
Yep.
And looking at the free throw shooting thus far, you would have to think that benefits the Griffins.
Yeah, they're 1 foul away now from being in the bonus. We didn't reach the bonus till under, I think, around the 8-minute mark of the first half. We're about to hit it before the 12-minute mark, the next media timeout.
Baker looked to drive. He was quickly cut off. This is Day now. Pettit, moving three-pointer is good. Pettit from downtown for the second time. He now has 17.
And don't look now, Joe. They made it 16 once again. They got to the spot earlier. And we talked about it already. They're 1 foul away from being in the bonus. So things will get interesting these next couple of minutes.
That's a big attempt from 3. It is no good. And Pettit will look to push it. Here comes Day. He throws it up. Shivers can't get the bank shot to go. Payne up ahead and unable to corral that one was Jacob Gibbons.
That's a big break right there by Chestnut Hill. After missing that alley-oop opportunity, it's an immediate turnover right there by Assumption.
That alley-oop looked like it was going to be an easy basket. This is Lee. He lost it, and Gibbons has it. Numbers for the Greyhounds. Payne thought about it, and that one's poked away. McCowan able to regain it.
It's not been easy to dribble the basketball in this game.
No. Payne wide open. No good. Shivers with the rebound.
It's a strong rebound by Shivers right there.
Greyhounds have gone cold from the field as Pettit is off the mark with that triple.
Pettit, the only one that's been able to hit a three-pointer in this game for Chestnut Hill. Missed that last one.
They are now 2 of 14 from downtown. The Greyhounds are 6 of 15, and right now the difference in this game is 16 points. 12 points coming from three-pointers. Three-pointer on the way, and once again that one is off. Both teams now ice cold. Pettit doubled, he finds Shivers. Cross-court pass for Baker. Attacks baseline. Extra pass to the corner. And short on the 3 was Gorham. And a foul is committed by Shivers.
Like I said, Joe, they're finding the open looks. They're getting those shots up, but they just have not been able to capitalize in this game. But you look at it now with 12:15 left. Both teams are now 1 foul away from being inside the bonus. So these next couple of minutes are going to be very interesting for either side. We talked about already what the free throw shooting has been for both sides. So if Chestnut Hill can get it to that mark first, and they could do it before the next media timeout, that would be big.
They're in this game largely behind their free throw shooting, Nick. Turnover, 17-10. Shooting, Griffins at 38%, and the Greyhounds over 60%. If you looked at every stat without knowing how the teams have shot from the free throw line, you'd probably think this game right now is much more than a 16-point differential.
He stepped on the line, he did. It's going back to Chestnut Hill after this media timeout.
These two teams now scoreless for nearly 2 minutes, as we've reached the 11:55 mark here in the second half. And as you said, Nick, that will send us to a media timeout. We head to break with the Greyhounds leading the Griffins 59-43. And we're back from the tank, where the Griffins have cut this lead for the Greyhounds down to 16 points. And Nick, we mentioned it heading into the break, but it's been largely behind their free throw shooting. We've mentioned the defense. Much of this game has been there, as there's another turnover. This one off an inbound pass, and drawing the foul was McCowan. So
yeah, Joe, that just can't happen.
Afford that.
Not off the inbound immediately.
Fouls on number 0, Chestnut Hill.
And that now puts Assumption into the bonus for the remainder of this second half.
His first.
It will be 2 shots here as McCowan is going up with the shot attempt.
If you're Assumption, you would like to get this free throw shooting down here in the second half, because as you mentioned, it's been a big reason why Chestnut Hill has been able to stay in this game. They've been able to make their free throws. Assumption has not been able to, but they get 2 right there.
And you get the sense, Nick, that the way this game has been shaping up, if the Greyhounds hit their free throws, it's going to be nearly an impossible road back for the Griffins.
Oh,
there's another turnover, and you see, Nick, they've returned to the full court press, and immediately it's paying off.
Back-to-back possessions immediately after the media timeout off the inbound. 2 turnovers.
Mawo looking out toward Payne. He was defended well off the ball. And there's a nice feed to a cutting TCP from Tangashaka. And the dunk makes it a 20-point game again.
And how many times, Joe, have they done that? The pick and roll, it's working to perfection. Next time we have a break, we'll show that last play. But another great executed play by the Greyhounds in this game.
That pass tipped, nearly stolen. Pettit for Baker, right back to Pettit. 10 on the shot clock. Pull-up jumper, short off the front rim. Tipped out, Pettit had it knocked away, but he was fouled.
Assumption faithful, of course, not going to be happy with that one. They thought they were going to have a breakaway right there, or a fast break. Now going into hockey terms, but instead it's now a free throw opportunity here for Chestnut Hill.
The aspiring officials were a bit perturbed there. Pettit to the line for a 1-and-1, and his first free throw is good.
Here's that last pick and roll play right here for Assumption. TCP gets another easy dunk under the rim.
Pettit 2 for 2. Lead back to 18 for the Greyhounds. Just over 11 minutes to play here in the second half, and you get the sense, Nick, that it's now or never for the Griffins. They need a run. And there's a good start, but kick ball was called. Well, the crowd already hearkening back to the one that was missed earlier in the game.
Yeah, if I was a Griffins fan, I'd be a little perturbed after that.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. See, that one, it felt like wasn't as obvious as the other one.
Agreed. I think that's where the displeasure comes from. Fair enough. As that shot way too strong.
That
Was
is
rebounded
down
by
again, Joe.
Shivers, and looks like he's grabbing at his leg.
Remember, he went down earlier and had the same exact sequence where he was holding onto his leg, and he's down once again.
And with the injury to Ivy Pettit, we'll step aside and take a quick break. Our score, Assumption 63 and Chestnut Hill 45, 10:50 to go here in the second half.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
$10.50 to go in the second half from the tank. Assumption over Chestnut Hill by 18. Ivy Pettit was able to walk off with a limp. He's over at the trainer's table being looked at right now, but that's a big loss for this Griffins team. That trails by 18 points. He was their leading scorer, exited the game with a game-high 19 points. Shivers inside, banks it in, and it's now a 16-point game again.
That was not easy for Shivers on that play, Joe, because the pass almost went behind him out of bounds, able to caress it and then get a tough bucket underneath the rim.
Payne had it poked at from behind. Greyhounds now with it on the outside. McCowan, baseline drive, dropped it off. TCP tied up. And there's another Greyhounds turnover. Those have begun to pile up here in the second half.
Yeah, and they had another look right there for TCP underneath the rim where he could get a dunk potentially, but not able to catch it, and it leads to another turnover. Assumption trying to get something going before the next media timeout.
Pressure falling to the floor. They do get it up. Shot fake there. Kick out. Gorham kicks out again. Three-pointer on the way. Too strong by Dow. TCP looking to push. Defended by Travis Reed Jr., who commits the foul.
He'll go to the free throw line. That's now 8 fouls on the Griffins in this game.
Travis Reed Jr. That is his second personal foul, 18 foul.
18 foul on Chestnut Hill.
1-1 coming up for.
And I said it before, Nick, you get the feeling that if the Greyhounds hit their free throws, this lead is probably safe, but they have not shot well from the line, and there's a big make on the front end of a 1-and-1.
Yeah, and you get the sense, too, if they start making those free throws, it's going to be really tough for the Griffins to get back into this game. So we'll see what happens here on free throw number 2.
2-for-2 trip to the line for Cunningham Pemberton. And the lead is back up to 18, and it seems like that 16-point mark has been the threshold that the Griffins can't cross. Reed Jr. wanted ARC, that pass behind him. And here come the Greyhounds. To the rim, Cunningham Pemberton can't get the lay-in. But that was last touched by Redondo Syvac, the senior.
The senior.
Senior from Madrid, Spain. Has the most size on the Griffins roster, 6'8", 235. Nine and a half to go in an 18-point game. TCP with the offensive foul. That's a good call by the official. Extended the arm on the drive. He knows it.
Offensive fouls. The ball goes against Assumption number 5, Tayshawn Cunningham Pemberton.
Try saying that name 3 times fast.
It's tough, and I think when a player like that's at the free throw line, or you're talking about their performance, you go full last name.
Yeah.
But when you're in the flow of a possession, you don't have time to do that every time. So it's more so for when the ball is in play, you use the acronym. There's a runner off glass. Good by Jeremiah Gorham.
I've been saying it all night, Joe, with this Chestnut Hill team. A lot of their baskets in the paint have not been the easiest to make.
TCP will drive again, and that's an easy 2 on the reverse.
Yeah, you got to love that if you're an assumption player right there. A nice underneath the basket reverse layup. Puts them back up 18.
Griffins have just been unable to get any closer than the 16 points. It's been a recurring theme now late in the first half and through the second half, but to their credit, they haven't allowed what was once, I believe, a 24-point lead to grow. And there's an emphatic rejection by Gibbons. Greyhounds on the move up the floor. Bounce pass inside, and Cunningham Pemberton is able to finish off the window.
Once again, a quick transition by Assumption. They get the block on one end, leading to more points on the other end.
I was indeed correct, Nick. The largest lead of the game for Assumption was 24 points. That was at the 2:04 mark in the first half. Dow, bounce pass inside for Shivers. He's doubled, and he travels.
Elias, media timeout.
Media timeout inside of 8 minutes in a 20-point game. Our score, Assumption 69, Chestnut Hill 49. Here is one more look at that last finish inside off the nice bounce pass for Tayshawn Cunningham Pemberton. 20-point game, under 8 minutes to go. We'll be right back. .7:45 to go, and it's a 20-point lead for Assumption University over Chestnut Hill College in this first game of our 2025 Tournament of Heroes coverage at the College of Staten Island. Joe Foreman on the call alongside Nicholas Bavona. And with under 8 minutes to go, Griffins still without their leading scorer, Ivy Pettit. Greyhounds once again approaching the point where they will match their largest lead of the game. That lead was 24 points. Crossover and a kick out into a turnover. Lee, one-on-one at the rim, can't finish. And the rebound is secured by the Griffins. Shot fake there, and the bank shot on the move is good by Spencer.
Another tough bucket.
And another easy bucket at the other end. Far too easy for Dembele.
I think that's also note that, it's a great point. Some of the baskets for Assumption have been easier said than done. Meanwhile, for Chestnut Hill, it's not been easy.
Another turnover for the Griffins. Payne to the basket, able to put it up and in. 22-point game again. It seems, Nick, that when the full court pressure is applied, the Griffins
really
just haven't
tough.
had an answer. And
Really tough.
it hasn't been a consistent trap, but it appears that once they trap the ball handler, there aren't enough bodies there for the Griffins to continue moving the ball up the floor.
And I think for teams, who are scouting Assumption for the rest of the year, you have to watch out for this press for the majority of the season. As I mentioned, this is a team coming off an Elite 8 appearance last year, so they know what it takes to get to that certain stage in the season, and it shows. And it's been showing so far in this game here so far.
Baseline drive, and McCowan couldn't finish. Didn't quite make it to the opposite side of the rim there on the attempted reverse. Spencer stripped. Here comes Tangashaka. Lee knocked it away, and it will stay Greyhounds basketball.
This, of course, Joe, the first of 3 games that we're covering here tonight. And as you mentioned, this event is usually, it's been a great event the last couple, the last 2 decades. 23rd year we're doing this event, and of course for a special occasion as well. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on when we get to the CSI game too. But it's always great to see these teams competing at, this early in the season. You see this all the time from collegiate sports where these teams get these games out of the way early on, trying to get that spirited competition early in the season so that when you get towards later in the year, when you get towards the NCAA tournament and your conference tournaments, these are good tests for a lot of these teams.
And we've said it before, Nick, when men's basketball schedules teams to come in and play as part of the Tournament of Heroes, they do not shy away from regionally and sometimes even nationally acclaimed competition at the Division II level, and the Greyhounds certainly fit the billing there. A lot of very talented teams make their way in for this tournament every year. That's been the case here at the D2 level. It was also the case for many years at the Division III level. So this event, always one that is extremely fun for us to cover as broadcasters. And though we have a 20-point game here that really hasn't been close for much of the way, it's been a real showcase of some top-tier Division II talent.
And we'll see more D2 talent later on. We talked about it earlier on in the broadcast. This Assumption team defeated Stack in the NCAA tournament in the Sweet 16. We will see Stack in our next game, and they're going to go into an interesting contest in this game, Joe, because they're not returning a lot of their big players from last season. So I'm very curious to see how they transition from a really great season they had last year in the ECC. I'm curious to see which players step up for them in our next contest.
Pull-up jumper there. Tough shot by McCowan, and the rebound is secured by Chestnut Hill. Well, the Spartans of St. Thomas Aquinas, a team we are very familiar with. Get our first look at them this season coming up next. They take on the Lions of Georgian Court University. Mawo picks up the foul at the other end, and that will send Amari Dow to the line.
I was going to say, I think that's 5 on Malwa in this game, Joe, so he's going to be out.
That is the 5th personal foul on Mawo. He has fouled out of the game.
And he has indeed fouled out.
And also, I think another thing about this tournament, and if you're a Dolphins fan tuning in early on in these games, the Dolphins are playing a couple of these teams in the tournament later on in the season too. So if you're a fan of CSI, you're watching these games attentively to see what you're going to be facing later on in the season as well.
Second free throw coming up here for Dow. Well, the Dolphins do get a look at this Griffins team tomorrow.
They will play Georgia Court later in the season, and of course they play Stack as a conference member.
Pull-up jumper, bit short. Griffins have it, trailing by 19, but under 5.5 to play. Dow tied up, but finds a wide-open Lee for 3. Timeout, Greyhounds. 5:08 to go, and Nick, they're back down 16 again. We'll see if the Griffins can break through that mark when we come back. 30-second break from the tank. 5:08 to go in our first game in this 2025 Tournament of Heroes. It is the Greyhounds of Assumption University leading the Griffins of Chestnut Hill College 73-57. Joe Foreman on the call alongside Nicholas Bavona. It is Greyhounds ball. And you have to think, Nick, if they just take care of it and continue to play the kind of defense they've played now for the first 35 minutes of this game, they'd be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, you have to think so. And, of course, they're going to try to milk as much time as they can on these next couple of possessions.
Spin at the free throw line into a kick out for 3. TCP from downtown.
He has been all over the bucket today, Joe. A couple big baskets on the inside. Knocks down that big 3 right there to stop any momentum.
Lead back to 19 as Dow couldn't convert on the tough shot. Assumption on the move. Big spin and the friendly roll at the rim for Z McCowan.
Put a little bit extra on that spin move right there to lead to that bucket.
And there's a two-handed slam by ARC. Alejandro Redondo Cyback throws it down. Under 4 minutes to play. 19-point game. Payne on the pull-up. Off the mark. Dow defended by TCP. Spencer, bounce pass inside. Double team on ARC. A nice bounce pass into traffic. And now Lee left open. Way short. But waiting on the other side is Tyler Spencer for the lay-in.
Tyler Spencer.
Good job of awareness right there by Spencer. Shot was short, but was able to get that rebound.
And we have reached a media timeout.
Not sure what the time was called for. There's an official's timeout, but it leads into the media.
Correct. 3:14 to go as we get one more look at that pretty spin move and perhaps an even more friendly roll. Z McCowan having a nice game for Assumption with that basket. He now has 14 points, and we head to a quick break with the Greyhounds in front, 78-61. .314 to go in this one. It's a 17-point lead for the Greyhounds. And Nick, the effort has been there for Chestnut Hill in this game, and they've done a lot of good things outside of their turnovers. Now 23 of them. In the second half, they've increased their shooting percentage up over 40%. They've shot 48% from the field here in the second half, but between the turnovers and the poor outside shooting, they haven't been able to overcome what was once a 24-point deficit.
Yeah, I think, if you're Chestnut Hill, as the season goes on, you look at this game and you see the team that you're facing today, and you look at it like this. There's been some good spots in this game for you here tonight. Of course, there's been some bad mishaps, not really good three-point shooting. They've had a lot of turnovers, but that's stuff you can fix as the season goes on. I think that's the beauty of it for Chestnut Hill. They can fix it as the season goes on, where you can, fix your three-point shooting. You can fix allowing all those turnovers. So it's a good early test for this Griffins team to see how they do during the season.
And to their credit, they did not let this one get out of hand because it looked like it was headed that way in the first half, Nick, as it's a 1-of-2 trip to the line for Assumption there. The lead is 18 points. That was Dembele who went 1 for 2 from the line. Spencer with it now for Chestnut Hill. Hands off to Lee for 3.
And now they got to 15, Joe.
They've crossed that threshold. So many times they had cut it to 16, just couldn't get closer than that, but they finally do on the three-pointer by Kamal Lee. And if you're the Dolphins, you face this Griffins team tomorrow. What have you picked up? What do you think the Dolphins are looking at heading into that game?
Well, of course, for the Griffins, first off, we'll have to see what the status of Ivy Pettit is going into that game. So that's a key note, too, because Pettit was their leading scorer from last season. So if they don't have Pettit in that game, that's going to hurt them tremendously offensively. But if you're the Dolphins going into that game tomorrow, I think you look at it like this. You know that a lot of points that the Greyhounds have been getting have been inside of the paint. So the Dolphins can figure out a way to get those points inside of the paint while also forcing that amount of turnovers, maybe not to this extent that we've seen here in this game, but if they can force a good amount of turnovers as well in that game tomorrow, then you have to feel good if you're a Dolphins fan going into that one.
Pettit, 16 points per game of scoring from last year that the Griffins would be missing if he can't go. That being said, he was efficient tonight compared to what he did last season as Chestnut Hill turns it over again. But Pettit last year shot 33% from the field and 28% from beyond the arc. He was far better than that tonight and was really in rhythm from the get-go in this game. Lee thought about another three, instead kicks out, and that one no good by Camden Burns. Pettit tonight was 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 5 from downtown, 19 points in 24 minutes. Tayshawn Cunningham Pemberton leading all scorers with 24. Both Dembele and Payne with 16, McCowan with 14, Spencer with 14 for Chestnut Hill as well.
How about that move?
There's 2 more for Payne. He has 18 now.
Had to go through a couple of defenders and was able to hold the ball right there by doing so, and another turnover forced.
I think you hate to have a sloppy finish to this one if you're Chestnut Hill, and they've thrown it away quite a few times during these last few minutes.
In my opinion, this game really turned as soon as that 12-minute media timeout hit, and there was the 2 straight inbound passes that would turn into turnovers as there's a 3.
Deep 3 from way downtown by Z McCowan. Had to shoehorn in the downtown one more time.
You're, of course, big fans of Mike Breen.
Make no mistake, Nick, it is McCowan, not McCown. So you can't quite hit the Clyde with the rhyme.
Yeah.
You can't quite. Another miss there by Chestnut Hill, and I think the Greyhounds probably take a shot clock violation here.
You would think.
They will. You're making me reconsider, Nick.
Joe, they're not taking a
They're
shot.
not.
They were not taking one.
Usually you give the courtesy of taking one. But there was some pressure out there, so maybe.
They want an exclamation mark on this game.
3-pointer short by Dow. What do I know, Nick? Overall, great showing for the Greyhounds in their season opener. They shoot 60% from the field and force 25 turnovers on their way to what will be an 87-64 victory. I think it's safe to say, Nick, they will not shoot it here. And we have gone final from the tank. A 23-point win for the Greyhounds over the Griffins. Nick, final takeaways before we break ahead of Game 2.
We saw a really dominant performance from Assumption in this game, Joe. They got out early quick, and they did not let the foot off the gas. And it was evident at that last possession we saw. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the way for these two teams. Of course, Assumption would like to get back to the NCAA tournament and make a nice run as they did last season. And for Chestnut Hill and these teams, we'll see what happens tomorrow when they take on the Dolphins in that game. And I'm curious to see what happens, of course, with the status of Pettit going into that game, as well as how this team bounces back after this performance against the Greyhounds.
All right, Nick, and with that, we will wrap up our first broadcast of the night. It is the first of 3. Coming up next, St. Thomas Aquinas College takes on Georgian Court University. That game will get underway in approximately 30 or 35 minutes. With that, we sign off for the first time tonight. Once again, our final, the Greyhounds 87 and the Griffins 64. Be sure to tune in for our next game coming up on CSI Sportsnet, streaming exclusively on Flow College.